Story 1. Perpetually single. I am on track to be a real-life 40-year-old virgin, since I just turned 38 this year and have not even been kissed yet. Story 2. Almost at the 90-day mark of being single for the first time in 4 years. It was a very traumatic breakup, probably my worst nightmare. It has led to some of my best days though. No regrets. But I am sure loving myself first and banishing my codependency before I even begin to think about dating again. Lots of therapy, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, medication, meditation, and hypnosis. Becoming the partner I want because we do not attract what we want. We attract what we are. Be the kind of person you want. There will also be none of this. Why did he ghost me? Everything was going great. Is he going to call? Why hasn't he texted in 2 days? His schedule must be really packed since he hasn't been able to set up our next date. Does he think I am weird? Am I attractive enough? Was that a red flag or am I just paranoid? Am I being feminine enough? I am afraid if I call or text him first, he will think I am overbearing. I don't want to rock the boat and tell him what I need or if he has done or said something that I don't like. That just makes me problematic. Guess what? Bottling things in makes you toxic. Who would have thought? Forget all that. Why would you want to be with someone who makes you question things? They do not want to be with you. Run after the one who does. Story 3. Happily married for 17 years and grateful to have no desire to change that. Story 4. Single with absolutely no interest in dating. Not chasing anymore. If something magically happens, then fine, but I am focusing on myself. Story 5. I have not been in a relationship for 3 years. The last one ended catastrophically, so no more roller coasters for me. I prefer a lazy river now. Story 6. Single with no action. Just taking it easy for now. Baby steps. I don't think I will be in a relationship for a while unless it happens sometime this year or next. For all I know, it could happen in a few years from now, but I am hoping the next relationship will be a much better experience. Story 7. Married for 10 years. She just brought me a glass of milk and a freshly made cookie, so I did not get up and disturb the dog lying next to me. Love her. Story 8. Single, turning 39 this year. Aside from a random peck on the cheek I got from a female coworker before she left, I have had no dates or kisses yet. But there is still hope. If it were not for the long distance, I am sure I would have had a chance for something in my 20s with some online friends. Story 9. I have been with my partner for almost 4 years now. It has been difficult every day lately, but I choose him every day anyway. Story 10. It was in a relationship. I cannot wait until the day I can be genuinely happy to be single and independent again. Story 11. Live-in boyfriend and partner. We have been friends for 4 years and dating for about a year and a half. Story 12. I have been single since 2014. I was a complete mess after the breakup. I had a lot of personal growth to go through after that. Now I have been talking to someone for a month. For the first time in 11 years. She is absolutely wonderful, and I am extremely happy. It is really hard to open up for the first time in so many years, but I am taking it one step at a time. Story 13. Single for 3 months after leaving a long relationship where I did everything I could, but was not cared about enough. I do not even know where to start even though I want to, but I do not have many photos of myself and do not like the prospect of dating apps, so I have to learn. But I will. Story 14. My own mother tells me to save extra for when I retire because there will be no one to take care of me in my old age. Story 15. Widow and now engaged. I never expected to be married again. This man is so good looking. My husband was super athletic, especially at golf with a 0 handicap. I would say golf widow and my picture is there. When I met him and he showed interest, I laughed at him because he is younger. He kept on, but I still laughed and told him my age. He asked if I cared what anyone thought. I said no. He said he doesn't care. So after 16 months, we are getting married. I'm lucky. After the worst thing that ever happened and crying for 2 years, something wonderful has happened. I almost let it slip past me. Story 16. I have been dating for 6 months. I am pretty much in love with him, but I am not sure if he feels the same. He lost his late wife 2 years ago. I really respect that and have been there for him, and I will continue to support him through his grieving process. However, sometimes I think he may never fall in love with me. At the same time, I do not want to love anyone else. It is him, at least for me. Story 17. I am a 27-year-old male in a relationship of almost 10 years that I will end in a few weeks because we are no longer sexually compatible. There is nothing worse than not being seen as sexually attractive. We have already discussed it. Apparently, she could live the rest of her life without having sex. That hit me like a truck and crushed my hopes that it would get better over time. She simply does not feel that primal hunger anymore. I also feel like my love for her is fading, but I do not want to pretend that this situation is fine with me. This is going to be the toughest moment of my life. I am scared and feel like I want to die, but it seems like the best decision to make right now. Story 18. Single for about 6 months. Truly enjoying the peace after ending my last long-term relationship, but open to possibilities. Story 19. Single and will be forever, since the only other man who has shown interest is my coworker, who is married yet continues to show interest even though I call him out on it in front of everyone and shut him down every time. Men are gross. Story 20. Seeing someone we've been out 4 times. He's fine, no complaints. I just really want to date my friend's coworker instead. I have been chatting with him for the past 4 months and it has turned into a silly crush. Story 21. I will probably be single for life. It is not my choice, but it is whatever, I guess. I most likely will not see 30 at this rate because if this is my life, there is literally no point in going on past that. I honestly do not even want to see 2026 at this point. If I am going to die alone, what is the point of existing for 20 or 30 more years? What else can I do single? Work for the rest of my life for no reason? Story 22. I get contacted by 3 girls at the same time during summer. If I do not form a relationship with one by winter, the cycle continues. Even if I do form a relationship in winter, the cycle usually continues. Story 23. Legally married but close to being granted a divorce I do not necessarily want, but need. Story 24. I've been single all my life and still am. I've tried dating, but it honestly takes too much effort, more than it should, so I just stay single. In my opinion, if a woman makes you work for her love, then she does not love you. She is just using you. I think there is a woman out there who will meet me and be devoted to me. When we find each other, I will be very grateful to have her in my life. Story 25. I have never been in a relationship. I feel like no one likes me or has ever had a crush on me. But it is fine. Story 26. Happily married with a daughter about to go off to college in a couple of months. Slightly losing my mind over where the time has gone. Story 27. Happily and lazily engaged. We have been wearing rings for around a year, and our 11th anniversary is this week, but actually going to the courthouse has not happened yet. Moving to our new house this month has taken priority for now, with the bonus that it has a really nice backyard where we can host a very small reception. Story 28. Married for 19 years. How did it happen? No idea, maybe it has something to do with my parents making it 56 years. Story 29. I have a boyfriend. I never thought I would actually have one. He likes me too. He randomly holds my hand and takes me out for food. We do a lot of domestic activities. I really like him. Story 30. Spent all my 20s chasing relationships. Now I am almost 30 and the motivation has been completely gone. For real, no exaggeration, broccoli hair Fortnite dance. Story 31. Single, receiving a lot of attention from younger men, but they obviously just want physical relationships. I thought I was happy being single, but a real date with old school manners would be lovely. Story 32. I am single. The idea of being with someone in a mutually supportive relationship is attractive. I recently saw someone again who wants me to stop having feelings for them after 8 years. It seemed like they were kind of hanging around to see me. Even though it brightened my day, I do not feel comfortable going to events I know I would enjoy because there is a strong chance they would be there, and I would be concentrating on them rather than the music. Story 33. Single after a long-term relationship. I met a really great girl, and we have been going out several times this month. I think she only likes me as a friend, though, and I have a big crush on her. Please keep me in your thoughts. Story 34. In a committed relationship, 6 months strong. My previous relationship was long-term and abusive. My boyfriend has restored my faith in love. He is such a beautiful soul. Story 35. In a relationship. Not sure if I ever truly considered marriage before I met this man. He is wonderful. Story 36. Single female at 39. Never had a serious relationship. I gave up looking. Too embarrassed to admit I have never had a serious relationship. Always disappointed in the dates I have had. I have tried changing my mindset, but I usually feel very ugly and like I am someone's good enough choice. It is too painful, so I stopped trying. Story 37. Perfect. Married 10 years this year. Been together for 15 years this year. For children. Only ever had one partner, which is each other, and we are very happy and still very much in love. Childhood sweethearts at 16 and 17 when we met. Story 38. Single, probably permanently. Just done with the dating scene and emotionally stunted people who destroy everything they can because their parents did not love them enough. Story 39. I choose to be single because of my mental health issues, but I feel guilty about it because everyone my age is having their young romances and summer flings around me. Story 40. Single. I broke up with my girlfriend about 4 months ago after a short but intense 3-month relationship. She was obsessed with the idea of marrying me and would get upset if I did not feel the same way. It was toxic. I am not yet over the issues that happened, so I am waiting until I am before I date again. I am slowly getting there, but it was a lot. Story 41. Divorced. Started first relationship after divorce 2.5 years ago and ended it 2 weeks ago. Heartbroken. Story 42. Just got out of an almost 6-year relationship. It took a long time to realize we are just better as friends. For the first time in my adult life, I actually want to stay single and focus on myself. Story 43. Married but wish I was not. I have asked for a divorce and he ignored me, so I repeated it and asked him to leave. Then he started threatening to harm himself. Story 44. My girlfriend of 3 years has blocked me on all platforms. I need to retrieve some of my belongings from her place as soon as possible. Story 45. In a relationship, but it is only going to last another week. She is moving away, which was already planned, but we got together months ago and enjoyed our time, so we kept it going. We talked about long distance, but she does not know whether or not she wants children in the future. I do not want children, so it is a ticking time bomb. Feeling upset, but you reap what you sow. I got myself into this knowing how it would turn out. She is a lovely woman. I am going to miss her a lot. Story 46. 27-year-old single Air Force member. It is hard when you are introverted. I cannot even find a group at the Dungeons and Dragons groups. Story 47. Very much single. I have been single for 7 to 8 months. I am enjoying life so far with its ups and downs. I have not really thought about dating, especially not until I can get my life sorted out for the best. Plus, I plan on being single for about 2 years anyway. Story 48. Well, single, but my ex and I still hang out once in a while. We make better friends with benefits than boyfriend and girlfriend. Story 49. Very single, but I'm content with it. I'm also on dating apps just to look and see what's out there. Story 50. This is the longest period of being single in my entire life, by a significant margin. I feel neutral about that fact. Story 51. Enjoying my single life. I was forced into a relationship with an older man when I was 14 and he was 22. Then I was guilted into marriage through my religion. I have never met a man since with enough emotional intelligence to communicate in a healthy manner. Even at my age, 47, they still ghost or soft ghost. Or they pout and try to get even. Yuck. I am done now. I am a grandmother. I have a new puppy. I have no desire to try again with a man. Story 52. My partner has been separated for 4 years, and his ex refuses to agree to a divorce. She literally changed her name and brags about him being the prize bull she used to have children with, then permanently pushed him aside to the back area where the fence has been damaged by wild dogs. We have been together for over 2 years, so technically, I am still considered a mistress. Story 53. Single and sometimes I yearn, but I cannot deal with the headache of dating. Too much on my plate. Maybe next year. Story 54. Married and extremely blessed. I did not think I could ever be loved properly with my previous sickness, and I never thought I would have a baby as well. After being someone's girlfriend for 8 years and nothing more, it felt great to be my husband's first choice and someone he knew he wanted to spend the rest of our lives with. Story 55. My other half and I stumbled upon what could be our forever house, and our realtor took us to look at it today. I'm trying not to get excited, but it is too late for him. Story 56. Wow. Lots of single people on Reddit. I am partnered but wondering if spending so much time here is good for me now. Laughing out loud. Story 57. Single, talking to a nice man. Maybe we will like each other and start dating consistently. Who knows? Story 58. It has been about 3.5 years since my breakup. Despite having more experience than some others, such as kissing and some forms of sexual activity, that amount of time without emotional stimuli affects a person deeply. Sure, some might say, he already had the experience. But like a drug, your body craves more of the positive feelings. Besides, the company of another person who means a lot to you is comforting. Story 59. Sometimes I think I am from another world, when I am trying to tell a woman exactly where I stand. I want a girl when I want a girl, and when I do not want a girl, I want a girl who understands that. Story 60. I have been single for over 11 years now. I find that unfortunate most times, but I have come to accept it as part of my life. Story 61. Still heartbroken after a girl ended a short relationship. This was about 7 months ago. Still hurts, but I am hoping I will be healed someday. Story 62. Single, I have only ever had a fling that was not even great compared to what I know could be. However, I have taken a huge step in life, and I believe I am on track to finding love and happiness. Story 63. I am 25 and single. I kind of want a girlfriend, but seeing so many people go through terrible situations and then getting cheated on after decades of a relatively happy marriage just makes me want to steer clear of people. Story 64. I am in a very happy and healthy relationship. He is very supportive, and I love him so much. I feel burnt out at work, and he is by my side. I am so grateful. Story 65. Married for a little over a month. I still turn into a lovesick high school girl whenever I think about him. Story 66. I got broken up with this morning via text exactly 7 minutes after I had pulled out of his driveway after spending the night. Story 67. You are not gaining anything. Every day you wake up and write something, check messages, and talk about the big plan to make her go burnout. I promise you may succeed, but fear is not present, and you will get caught. Promise. Don't worry too much or talk about it repeatedly. There are at least 10 better ways. Hopefully, she doesn't report it unless it is already in motion. Be careful. Story 68. Happily married since September 9th, 2001. We were to leave for our honeymoon on September 11th, but American history happened. Instead, I spent the day curled up in the fetal position, shaking and sobbing because 3/4 of my extended family was flying from the Northeast West. My mother was at work on a federal military base, and my father was supposed to be working at the Pentagon. My mother's base was locked down with no one allowed in or out, and no one, not even my mother, could reach my father at any of his contact numbers. Hotel, desk phone, cell phone, or the main Pentagon switchboard. Most of the family flying west called my parents' house phone, but no one was there, so they left voicemails. My mother did not get them until the base allowed people to leave, and she got home around 9 p.m. We did not hear from my grandmother for 3 days. She did not call anyone to update us. Anyone in the entire family, extended or otherwise, because she said, I knew I was fine, and I didn't want to bother anyone unless I needed something. I know Christianity is often mocked and not welcome here, but my family and I truly believe that God intervened and ensured my father was not at work when the plane hit the Pentagon. The impact was exactly where his office was. My father, who is so precise about never being even a second late that he was born a week early, was late to work that day. First, the hotel forgot to place his wake-up call. Second, the alarm clock in his hotel room died during the night despite being plugged in and having a battery backup. Third, he forgot to set his personal travel alarm clock the night before, which he never forgets to do. Some people may say these are all just coincidences, but we choose to believe that God had a plan for my father. I will admit I wish I knew what God's plan was for all the people who died and their families and friends, but I do not. I imagine it is incredibly cold comfort for them, and I wish I knew what to say, but I do not. I am truly sorry for that. Story 69. I have had a girlfriend for about a year now, but for some reason there is a wall between us. I do not know where I went wrong, and when I asked her about it, she just ignored me and said I did nothing wrong. However, I can clearly feel that her attitude has changed over the past 2 months. Is she cheating? That is my current situation. Story 70. I do not know. I mean, we are together, but we are not. I do better when away, but then she shows up. I go soft for her until I go hard, and then my hearing gets fuzzy. Lather, rinse, repeat. Story 71. Just celebrated my 16th wedding anniversary last month. I am so grateful that we still like and love each other. Story 72. Happily married for 4 years this August. We got married on our first anniversary. When you know. Story 73. We are kind of together, kind of not. 2 years of a relationship. We break up and we cannot stay away from each other. We love each other, but without the rules and expectations of being in a relationship, it was taxing as well as the toxicity. Story 74. Single as of a month ago after 4 years together. My girlfriend, with whom I had been living for the past 2.5 years, stopped taking her bipolar medication about 9 months ago without telling me. It was a rough year where suddenly everything I did and said was wrong. This culminated in her manufacturing a fight over my fears and concerns about having children as a way to end the relationship. 2 days later, I found out she had been seeing someone else for months while I tried to fix things, which were conveyed to me as bent but not broken. When leaving, she cried and said she was taking time for herself and surrounding herself with family. 10 days later, she relocated from our city to another major one, conveniently where her new partner lived. It has been a difficult month. It all caught me by surprise, and it was my first time living with a partner. I am having to relearn a lot of things and grow comfortable with a change of pace and an altered level of companionship day to day. Progress is definitely not linear, some good days, some bad, but I am focusing on putting one foot in front of the other, even if they are baby steps for now. In summary, mental health is a real challenge. Story 75. After about a decade of feeling like I could never find the right person and was destined to be single, I found the love of my life. We will be together for 2 years soon, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him. Do not give up hope, everyone. Neither of us think marriage is significant or important. We are not married, but he is like a husband to me. Story 76. Single mom, I think. I guess I have to move on from the man I wanted to marry, but it's hard. Even if I did have time to date, imagine choosing someone to be with forever, nobody else, being happy and satisfied with someone's love, and then being forced to find someone better. The thought of anyone else disgusts me, but I've given him over a year of second chances, and I know I deserve something a little more human. I want only real love. Is that too much to ask for? Or should I just hook up with a guy friend or an ex? I don't know. Will it ever feel okay to be with someone else? Story 77. I'm in a strong relationship with a French girl. Don't worry, she's nice. We aren't dating because her ex cheated on her, but I'm helping her sort her problems. Story 78. Single so I can work on myself. It is the right thing to do, but I am very lonely, and working on myself is taking a long time. Story 79. Single. I am dating for marriage and commitment, so I have been filtering out many people. Values do not align, No need to continue. Looking for a fling? Blocked. Cannot regulate emotions? Cancelled. I am not perfect, and I know there is no one perfect, but I am looking for alignment. Story 80. Relatively recently divorced and beginning to enjoy being single. I had a crush on one friend and was trying to date another person. Now I am content not to want a romantic relationship with either. Story 81. Taken. I've known him for 4 years. We've liked each other for years but never did anything about it. But he is mine now. Story 82. Married to an incredible man. He is smart, kind, and somehow still has not figured out that I am the crazy one. Story 83. I am 38 years old and single for 2 years now. I came out of a 10-year relationship, and it destroyed me to the point that I am not even remotely interested in a new one at this moment. I need to focus on my own well-being before I can give my attention to someone else. Story 84. Single and 40 years old. Single for 9 years now. I have not been intimate all year, but I have a dog that loves me, so that is a plus. Story 85. As a 31-year-old autistic woman with diagnosed social anxiety, I am perpetually single and not searching right now, with a hearty dash of it's complicated thrown in for good measure. In my case, it's very much a wasn't exactly my choice at the start, but it became one kind of story. I really struggled with it in my teens and early 20s, but then got a reality check in my mid-20s. If these are my options for the rest of my life, then the single life is simply the better choice by comparison. I can't say I've definitely chosen to die alone because who knows, but I haven't seen a valid reason to change my mind about living an alcohol-free version of that rich wine and lifestyle yet. I still have yearning moments from time to time, but given who usually shows interest in me, life tends to snap me back to my senses quickly. It's usually some guy messaging me from a not-safe-for-work alternate account hoping I won't notice, a creepy fetishist, a weirdo manipulator, or those she can fix me kinds of guys where the jokes about it aren't really jokes. My direct messages have looked like creepy messages since my 20s. I tend to be extremely unlucky in that regard. So can you blame me for saying, you know what, I was wrong, the single life is actually looking pretty good right now, sometime in my mid-20s? What really frustrates me is that these people try to sound sane to my face and hope I don't see through it. I'm mainly not dating now simply because I'm tired of the nonsense. Story 86. I am divorced and currently single. I have no children and no desire to have children. I am happy on my own. Story 87. We have been together for 8 years and engaged for 1.5 years. I stopped wearing my ring after a big fight, and he has not asked about it. I love him, but I do not like his children. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.